The Declaration of Independence by Justin, Joseli, Lucas, and Aleah. Not long after the Great Rebellion against the king committed by the Boston Tea Party, when a group of men dressed as Indians tossed a large shipment of tea into the harbor. Soon came the development of the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence was the first established form of government besides the Articles of Confederation. It was the 13 colonies' statement to the Crown to become their own nation. It would become in the future the most important document in the United States history. The original document was primarily developed from two sources: Jefferson's own draft of the preamble to the Virginia Constitution and George Mason's draft of Virginia's Declaration of Rights. Also, philosopher John Locke's ideas were an important influence on the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson restated Locke's contract theory of government when he wrote in the Declaration that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the people. Thus being, because the king had not provided many of those things that are needed to sustain a proper functioning society, many of the purposes that a government needs to follow today, the king had not followed. Many of the complaints listed in the Declaration of Independence, such as imposing taxes on the people without consent, cutting off trade with parts of the world, and the illegal housing of soldiers in homes. Many of the wrongs accused against the king had to do with the crown obstructing domestic tranquility of the people, as well as the other 5 traditional purposes of government. Thus, by doing so, the colonies decided that the government had not been legitimate. The first public reading of the Declaration of Independence took place on July 8, 1776, in Philadelphia. A fictional story written in the 1840s suggested that the bell known as the Liberty Bell was rung that day to bring the people together. However, historians now doubt that this happened. The steeple had housed the bell was in very bad condition, and at the time the bell was probably unused. Along with the first actual reading of the Declaration came the creation of the Dunlap broadsides, the first 26 original copies of the Declaration, one of which is Washington's original copy. These copies were put into newspapers and announced all across the colonies. Not so long after being publicly announced, the British fleet arrived in the colonies. Soon began the start of the Revolutionary War. Afterwards would bring the creation of the Constitution that labeled the individual rights of every person in the now formed United States of America.